All right, now let's talk about the initial conversation with the director or the producer. Now, again, this can happen at two various stages in the process, and the various stages, they're going to make a big impact on how this conversation goes. So let's take the first one, and let's imagine for a moment that we've had our initial contact from a production manager or production assistant, someone at the production company to check dates. And you check out with the dates, and they say, okay, we're going to have the director and the producer get on a conference call with you and just go over the spot to talk about whether or not you'd be a good fit, or whether or not you want to do the project, or however it goes. But let's say that this is taking place after the job has been awarded. So this production company and this director are definitely doing this job, which is going to make a huge difference, right? Because by this time, if they already have the job, they've already treated on it, and they already have the wheels in motion trying to make the treatment come alive, okay? And that's a big point of difference than the opposite, which is sometimes you'll get contacted before the job is awarded, and you will be asked by the director and by the producer, because maybe it's a highly technical job, you'll be asked for your expertise on how you would get this done. Not what's the cheapest way, but what's the best way. Sometimes what's the cheapest way. Sometimes what's going to look the best. Sometimes what's going to actually be possible within the given confines of the job, whether it's schedule or talent or whatever it is. You'll be asked to come on board and offer solutions before the treatment, so that they can take this into account when they're writing it, so they don't oversell and underdeliver, okay? But right now, let's focus on they've already won the job. The director, the production company definitely have the job. They're going to send you through the treatment. They might send you through the agency boards if they've made one. They might send you through some initial location documents that a location manager has sent to them. So just get across it as quick as you can before the call. It goes without saying that you're going to want to look at the treatment. You're going to want to look at the location pictures or whatever else they send you and get fully across it, understand what they're trying to get, because you want to jump on board, right? You want to jump on board with ideas and be immediately solving problems. You don't want to sit there wasting their time, having them explain to you the concept, and you want to go in with a set of thoughts. So that's, you're not going to just get called out of the blue. Someone's going to set this up. This conference call is going to happen with some sort of schedule. So you'll know well in advance. You can ask for all these things before. If you don't get that information beforehand, you can always reach out to the production and say, hey, we've got this call set at 3 o'clock today. I would love to see some boards so I can come up with some ideas. Is that possible? And 99% of the time, they're going to send that through, because they don't want to waste their time either. So in those initial conversations, it's really listening. It is really the director explaining the treatment. I always try and get them to explain it in their own words, even if I can read it. And you're just looking for clues. What's important? Is it the patina of the lenses that they keep talking about? Is it the age? Is it the lighting that they keep talking about? What is the director referencing again and again and again? Where are they looking at the project from? What angle are they trying to take? Also, if you're working with a new director, you're going to be looking for cues in how they communicate. Right? Are they someone, especially in the commercial world, you get a lot of ex-photographers, a lot of people that know the camera, know the lenses, know all those things. So they'll talk very openly and very direct in those terms. Well, you'll meet some directors that want to talk lenses, they want to talk formats, they want to talk camera, and other people will never even mention it. They'll just say, listen, you're in charge of the way that it looks, make it look great, and I'll worry about delivering all the rest. So you want to get the lay of the land in those early talks. You're not talking about rates with these people. You're not talking about anything logistical. It's just to get an idea of the story, of the spot, of what they've promised that they could deliver. Now, the other key point here to remember is that this is the first time, especially after the award. So the production company has the job, director has the job. This is the first time that the production company and the director, that they have someone on their side. You're generally the first phone call outside of the production designer. So you want to go in with enthusiasm. You want to go in with excitement for the project, happy to be on board, and go in with ideas. So listening, trying to pick things up, but the easier you can get in, identify not even a problem, just an easier way to do something, or an easy win, I say. I like to get things on the board of helping out, of showing that you're involved, of showing that you're capable, especially with newer directors and newer production companies. They don't know how you operate. They don't know how much work you're going to put into the project beforehand. It's a relationship that you're building. So you might as well start out on put your best foot forward and get those easy wins early on. Try and figure out tentatively, you'll just ask, even though the dates have been selected, inside of those dates, you're going to want to know how many days it's shooting for, what What are they thinking in terms of deliverables? All these general things you're going to want to get across, because those are where you can find easy wins. Those are where you can find, well, if it's a travel job and you're away for 4 days, but you're only shooting 2, what's happening on those other 2 days? What can you do to help advance the project? So if you find that stuff out in those initial calls, it just helps you get those early wins. And those can be really big for establishing a relationship and establishing the way that you're going to work, the way that you are going to, command respect from those individuals, and how they can rest assured that you're taking care of your part of the job so they can focus on doing theirs. Now, let's talk about what happens if it's before the award. So if those initial conversations are happening before, the director or the producer, they might be first contact, right? It might even be before the production agent reaches out for dates. You may just get a phone call from someone that you've worked with before. Very rare that you're going to get asked this stuff if you've never worked with someone before. But if you've established a relationship over time with a production company or director, they may call you up before and say, hey, we're treating on this thing. We don't know exactly how we're going to do it. Do you think we would need a techno crane, or could we do it with a Steadicam? Could we do it with a gimbal of some sort? And then you're going to have to interject there. Now, the great part about that is you're so early on in the project that you can add ideas that will find its way into the treatment, right? You can add in looks. You can really pepper them with information. And this is where I would say it would be a great time to send in those references, send in the looks that you like, to try and get them in the treatment, get them sold to the client and agency, so it becomes easier to do that rather than later, right? And this is standard across pre-production, across the production in general, and really a rule for cinematography, that the quicker that you can identify issues or bring up problems or bring up things that you want to do or that you want to see done in the production, the greater the possibility that that might actually come to fruition. So identify early, speak up early, and the higher the chance that those things will actually be done. Okay, so get in there as quick as you can. Okay, those are the initial talks. Again, big takeaways is just being open, listening for those cues, especially with newer directors, and then going away. By this point, you should have a very rudimentary understanding of what's involved in the project. You can go away then and do some research. You can do your homework. You can find references. You can do whatever it is you're going to do to prepare to show those people that you're involved and that you can help and be beneficial to the project, obviously within your means, to to impress them. You can go away at this point and start to do those things, while all these other steps that we're going to be talking about, while those are all happening in the background, sometimes in the foreground. So you should be armed with enough information to make some basic decisions and start contacting crew and everything like that. So that's the big takeaway from this initial contact module.